What's a podcast? I like your show.
How did I get here? Welcome to the Shipe Sports Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Shipe Sports Talk, our show, our 49th episode. It's been so long. Our 49th episode. We're one away from 50.
Yep. Yeah.
Joined always by my co-host and producer, Paul.
How you doing, Matt?
Back in studio's co-host, David the Coach Shipe.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm good to be back.
And Chris is not joining us today because he is on his way back. He's probably somewhere over Wisconsin, like Missouri or something right now on a plane on his way back here. He was in Vegas for a bachelor party for the weekend, so
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
hopefully he feels good when he comes back.
Hopefully he won at the tables.
We can only hope.
Is he a blackjack guy?
I think he's a roulette guy. So
Yeah, he didn't win anything then.
No.
he normally wins pretty good amount, but then he always tries to go more than what he should and then lose it all.
All right. Well, I guess he'll be back next week.
Yep. So on the show today, we're going to start off with USA Soccer since they're going to do the Copa America starts on Friday with USA against Colombia. They actually got the first matchup of the tournament, so that should be pretty exciting for them. Then we're going to talk some Redskins. We're going to talk Nationals afterwards. They had a little rough month, so did Harper. We're starting to turn June. I believe they're they're still in first place right now over the Mets. I believe like a half a game or a game, so they got to keep rolling there. They did finally face the Mets this year. They took 2 of 3 from the Mets in New York, but then the Mets came back here and took 2 of 3 in D.C., so really couldn't get away from the Mets at all. They pretty much just stayed the same. The Phillies and Marlins, as I predict, are starting to slowly fade away, so this is turning into a 2-team race. And then after that, we're going to do our top. Then we'll get into the Redskins talk, and then we're going to do our top 20 quarterbacks. We probably won't list all 20. We've listed them ourselves, but we're going to talk about maybe where we have Kirk Cousins. I'll talk about where I have Mariota at, our top 5 quarterbacks. We're going to get into that. So let's start off with some USA Soccer. I'm sure, Paul, you're probably going to be watching this a little bit, aren't you? I believe.
I am. Yeah, absolutely.
Where? Bolivia, right?
Who?
You. No, what is
No.
it? What is it? Chile.
My dad's from Chile and my mom's from Guatemala.
Well, I think Chile is in the tournament.
They are. They're actually playing Panama, and I'm hopefully sending my dad up to go watch.
I thought you were going to try to go.
in Philly. I can't. I got to work.
What are you working?
What am I working?
Yeah. The wedding, isn't it?
My job.
No, is it the day of the wedding?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they play up in Philly like on a Tuesday or something like that.
I'm feeling a sick day coming on for you.
Yeah, I wish. The thing is I already have too many sick days planned for the year, so I can't really take any more.
So, is he going up by himself, or who's he going up with?
I'm gonna try to send my brother with him.
Javi?
Yeah,
That should be fun for those two.
yeah.
Should be an exciting trip.
Because we saw. We looked online about the tickets, and the end zone ones that we were looking at are literally like you get the whole field. Is that what you're looking at? The ones we were talking about?
Yeah, something like that.
That's
I
not
was
bad.
thinking about that, and then I'm like, well, he might not see. You know what I mean? When's the next time he's gonna see his home
Yeah, they may not play here almost.
like team again? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the Copa America's not gonna come around here anytime soon. So
And it's kind of cool that it's the first time the USA's in the tournament and they're hosting it,
yeah,
which is even better. It's like it just shows what soccer is here. Obviously we have the facilities and the stadiums probably better than anywhere else in the world, except for England and Europe. They probably got better stadiums, but in terms of this side of the world, we probably got the better stadiums.
Yeah. I mean, there's some countries down south that have good ones. Like Chile has good ones. Argentina, things like that. They have pretty decent facilities and stuff like that. But just with America being in it, it's just going to be that much better. So
Yeah, and it's their first time they're in it, and you know what? I like their chances, maybe not winning it, but getting close to getting out of their bracket. They're with Colombia, Costa Rica, and Paraguay. That's probably the one group they probably didn't want to be in. They put all these best case scenarios, and this ended up being like almost one of the worst case.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been playing very well lately. The beginning of the summer, like the spring area, they were having trouble with, I guess the system that Klinsmann was doing where he was having people.
Mm-hmm.
Over the past couple of games, he finally put people where they belong, and they've been winning. I think they're on like a good 3 or 4 match win streak. You got Yellen in the back, who's, playing in Europe has been tremendous for him. Obviously, you're going to have the regulars and Bradley and Dempsey up in the front. Altidore will not be in this tournament because he got hurt during training, so Altidore's out. So you're going to rely on some younger players like Bobby Wood. But then the big surprise that made this team is young. I think we talked about them the last time we had a show with Chris. 17-year-old Christian Pulisic. I probably pronounced his last name wrong, probably. 17 years old. He scored his first time for USA last match they had, I believe, on Saturday. I think he was the youngest ever to score since Landon Donovan at 17 years old.
Wow. Good for
So
him.
he had a 2-goal game streak over in the German league for Dortmund, which is probably one of the top 2 teams in Germany right now. So even better for him. So he's going to be there. The big snubs I think everyone's talking about right now is Matt Michigan. Oh God, I can't say his Michigan. I can't say his name. He's a Chelsea defender. I think he's 21 years old. He started for Chelsea a couple of times. Everyone thought he'd be playing defenseman for Klinsmann. He got snubbed. I think he understands maybe because he hasn't played on the national team level yet. So give him some more experience. But playing for Chelsea will definitely help him out. And Jordan Morris, the young striker for Seattle Sounders. Been coming up very good in the USA system. He just graduated from Stanford and chose to stay in America to play rather than go overseas. Everyone thought he would get a call up to play. He didn't. He's come out and said he understands. He's young, but I really do believe he got snubbed as well. Matt, the other guy.
Yeah.
Klinsmann's been doing some very different things lately. He has Fabian Johnson listed as a defender on I think the left or the right side defender. And in the German league, the top league, he almost won first-team honors as a winger. So it's like, why are you putting him back as a defender when he almost got first teams in the top league in Germany as a winger? I mean, it's just, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, there has to be some weird reason for it, right? But who knows?
Who knows what Klinsmann?
Maybe is the U.S. team just very strong up top to begin with? I mean, are they lacking? Are they missing some people? Some more.
I mean, out the door's out, but I mean, you still have up top. You have Bradley. Obviously, you have Jermaine Jones back up there. Dempsey, Zardy's a young kid from LA Galaxy that's playing. I mean, you got a lot of younger guys up there. Bobby Wood, but why take someone out of their element when he's been playing great there all along?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how he adjusts because when he's been playing defense for USA, he has not been that good.
Okay.
But when you see him play the wing side in the German league, he's been tremendous. So we'll see if he goes back to his crappy self as defender, and if he does, Klinsmann needs to bring him up and put someone else back there.
Maybe he sees something in him or something like that it's not too evident at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you have a Maryland University grad also on the team, Grant Zusi. He played for Maryland University, won 2 national championships. He's on the roster.
Nice.
Tim Howard, I'm sure, will be the starting goalkeeper as always.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Grusin is the secondary goalkeeper. DC United player Steve Berneman is back there for defense, so you have a DC United player on the team as well. And then their defending core, I think, is going to be really good. You have John Brooks, who was during the World Cup was the hero during the Ghana game with the header at the last portion of the game. Timmy Chandler, both of them are doing great overseas playing. So I think, and then obviously, like I said, Fabian Johnson. So I think this is going to be a great team. I think they have a really good chance getting out of this bracket. And a lot of people are picking Colombia to crush them. I wouldn't be surprised if USA wins that game 1-0 or 2-1, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a spanking like if they're calling for that.
Well, Colombia, a lot of their players haven't been playing up to form lately. Now, Jaime Rodriguez hasn't been playing with Colombia lately. Real Madrid's had their whole, run to the World Cup, not the World Cup, I'm sorry, Champions Cup, which they just won on Saturday in penalty kicks. Great game, I watched that.
Mm-hmm.
So Jaime Rodriguez hasn't really been with Colombia. Now he gets to go back to them. So now is it going to be a completely different team with him there? Last time we saw him on that national team, he was shining in the World Cup, which got him a big contract with Real Madrid. So we'll see what happens with that with Colombia.
The money they throw around in
soccer
those
is ridiculous.
leagues are freaking ridiculous. Oh, man.
I mean, some of these players. But the thing is, it's not the players don't get it. It's the clubs because you're paying $100 million to this club for this other player to come to you. But the player doesn't really see that much. All he sees is what they're paying him in his contract.
Yeah.
So I could pay you $100 million to come play Real. You ain't gonna see that $100 million. The club's just gonna give someone else $100 million. The other club takes it. You're just worth what you want to do in the contract.
Yeah, but
their
it's
contracts
not
is
like they're not making money. They're
their
definitely making
contracts are per week. So you got like Messi and Ronaldo making $40K a week. That's ridiculous. They make more a week than I do in a year.
money. Yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah. I mean, and then you throw in, well, especially with those guys, you throw
Messi,
in like
Nike, Adidas,
yeah.
all that other stuff.
Jeez, makes
So
me sick.
So we'll see what happens. That starts Friday. Their first game's at 9:30, so it's a late one. I work till 10, so lucky I'll get home in time for the second half of the game. So I'll have it up.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Should be fun.
And I'm sure you'll be watching Chile as they try to go through it.
Yeah, Definitely. It's they're actually doing pretty well too. So should be some pretty good games.
Just trying to find who they have in their bracket real quick.
You know what? I don't remember.
I'm gonna look it up real quick as we move to our Nets topic. I'll look that up for you. So for the Nets one, we're gonna get right into Nationals talk. Like I said, they're still in first place. They're only up there by one game over the Mets. The Nationals are 31-21. The Mets are 29-21. Obviously, because the Nationals played those 2 extra games, as we just talked about. So, like we said when it comes down to the Mets, what's going to happen when they play the Mets? Well, they took the Mets series in New York. The Mets came back here, took the series here. But the good thing is both times they rocked Matt Harvey, which was awesome. Everyone thought, crap, especially in the Mets stadium, we lost the first game. Scherzer pitched a hell of a game, just gave up those 2 home runs that pretty much cost them. And then you come back and you're like, crap, now we have to face Harvey. Just bombed him in New York and bombed him here in D.C., which was awesome. I'm sure as Anthony was on the show right now, he'd probably completely hate me for saying that. But, Harvey, I think he just bounced back the other day, had a really good game. But there's obviously something wrong with Matt Harvey. Hopefully they can figure it out or whatnot. So we'll see what goes on with that.
Right.
So Chile is in with. Sorry to interrupt. Chile's in with Panama, Bolivia, and Argentina.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. All right. Yeah. Last night, Bryce Harper took a ball off the leg. You obviously said he shouldn't have went out, but I think he's out today with a contusion.
Yeah.
So what is that? Like a bruise, right?
Just all it is.
Yeah.
Just a bruise, a little deep bruise.
I'm
He
sure he'll
should
be
be-
back in the lineup tomorrow.
He
More
should
likely.
be. Yeah, they gave him the night off, just a little bit of a little rest and relaxation, and he'll be playing again.
Now, last night, they had a fight back to beat the Phillies. They were down, I think, what was it, 2-0?
Right, 2-1.
And
2-0,
slowly-
2-1.
Slowly started coming back. Speaking of scores today, Seattle put up 16 runs against the San Diego.
Holy
That is a
moly!
lot
Mm-hmm.
for Bates.
That's a heck of a lot.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't even know what to say for. I don't know what I would even do if I. Well, luckily it's in Seattle. I don't know what I would do if I was at that game. I think I would have left by the first inning.
Mm.
But yeah, yesterday they were down 1-0. Nationals came back 1-1, then down 2-1, then scored 3 in the 8th, and then the Phillies came back to do doubles back to back. But then Papelbon finally settled down and shut them down in the 9th. Got a little scary there in the 9th. Papelbon gives up a leading off double. Howard comes up, he doubles, so you have the tying run on second, no outs. Then he goes up, strikeout, ground out. So Papelbon did what he was supposed to do. Right now, the best player for the Nationals, Daniel Murphy.
Oh, correct.
.395 average.
By all means, best pickup of the year, or best pickup the Nationals had in 10 years. Is him
Through
right now.
the second month, he has a .395 average. That is hard to
Holy
keep
smokes.
up
Yep.
When
And
did they pick him up? Just
in the offseason. Just signed him for 3 years.
like early or late?
Yeah.
I think right around the middle time after the trade for Brandon Phelps went through, they went out and got him. The Mets thought he wanted too much money. Right now he's looking like the money was probably in the right spot. Like it's paying off.
That's excellent.
Yeah, the best thing they did was move him to the number 4 spot.
That was my next question.
But the best
Yeah.
part is about that is now it seems like since you moved Zimmerman down, he's hitting the ball better now.
Right.
Rendon's got moved down. He's hitting the ball. So they're hitting the ball, but it's like they're staggering the games. They'll have 2 or 3 games in a row where they'll put up 8 or more runs in all those games. And then they'll have like a 4-game skid where they'll barely put up a run or so. So it's
Right.
like they're not consistent.
Where's Harper batting at now?
Still third.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason they said, well, maybe they didn't end up moving him.
He's been struggling lately. I think the reason he's struggling is the fact that teams are walking him so much. He probably can't get in the rhythm he had in April.
Yeah.
Because in April he was seeing more balls.
He's
He can get.
he's trying to
He doesn't want
when
to
he
walk.
gets a chance to hit it, he's going to go for everything. And instead of being a little bit more selective, patient, take the pitch, go with it.
And that's what he was doing the beginning part of the year. He was being
Right.
patient. Now he's going back to his old habits.
Right, he's got to get out of the old habit, and I'm sure Dusty will get him out of that. And maybe even another reason why he's giving him the night off.
Speaking of Harper, that bomb he hit on Friday was ridiculous. He hit it in the 3rd deck on Friday. Like it
Oh,
was
yeah.
completely.
Oh my God.
I think it was the longest home run they said of the season in MLB. And if those bleachers wasn't there, who knows where it goes? But the longest home run goes to during batting practice when did you see what Nelson Cruz did? Hit it out of the
Yeah,
stadium.
out.
He hit it out of the stadium at Sanko Field in Seattle. Just completely batting practice, but completely obliterated the ball.
Yeah,
Though.
that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Even during batting practice, not many people do that. So the Nationals, they got the Phillies right now coming up, and then they have a little. I'm gonna pull up their schedule right here because I know they have a tough stretch coming up, which they need to take these games from the Phillies. I'm sorry, hold on one second, everyone. I'm trying to pull up this little stretch that they're gonna have going on here. Yeah, so after the Phillies, they face the Reds, which the Reds are struggling. They should sweep or at least take 2 or 3.
They've always struggled against the Reds. They have. If you look back the last couple of years, they have to.
But the
beat
Reds
them.
have been better the past couple of years.
Right,
and
but
I
I'm
think
just saying,
Dusty will have a little more sensitive, his whole team. But then you get to after the Reds, and then you have the White Sox for 3 games.
Yeah, don't.
Then you have the Phillies. Chicago comes back in town again for 3 games. You can't get swept by them again.
No.
Especially after the first 3 games where they were leading in every game and just lost it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the Padres. For 4 games, there's a good chance that you have to win 3 out of 4.
Well, you better not use everything up with the head
The
of the
Cubs.
schedule because if you get to the Padres could be the ones who sweep you.
Yeah, and then you have the Dodgers, Brewers, and then we see the Mets again at the end of June. So this is a tough. It's a good chance to maybe get a winning record.
June looks like a tough schedule. Just to start off June with, you better go ahead and beat up on everybody the first part of June, and that way you will. I don't know. You just look like a contender at that point.
And then once again, I'm going to say this again. Towards the end of June, we have the Mets for 3 games, and then the beginning of July, we see them again for right before the All-Star break for 4 games. So I know we're looking ahead to June, the end of June, early July, but it's another chance to where you got to take these chances on the Mets. You can't because you saw we took 2 or 3, we got ahead. Then when they came back to 2 or 3, they slowed back, so they're not going anywhere. So we got to get ahead of the Mets, and Harper's got to get rolling. We need him to get back to where he's formed. But real quick to talk about another Ets national that's doing real well. Desmond's looking like an all-star.
He's starting to pick it up again. He had the slow
start
first few weeks.
He's playing center field for them.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? If we'd have known he could have done that, crap, he could have been our center fielder for less money. But maybe he needed a change of scenery.
Also the change of scenery, and plus you get back to where you said, he turned down the contract that they offered. He wanted more money. Now he didn't get nearly as what he thought he should be worth or should get.
He signed a 1-year deal.
He signed a 1-year deal, so you better make the most of it. And I'll give him credit. Right now he's making the most of that 1-year deal. I mean, it could set him up. Somebody may need a shortstop here and there, and let's see what happens if the Rangers are out of the playoff scene. By the time the trade deadline comes around,
right now. So
you never know what's going to happen out there in the West. But if that's I think he may love it in Texas and decide to stay there and work out a deal with them.
Yeah. So we'll keep on track of the Nationals and whatnot. Before we shift into all our football talk, real quick, obviously, last time we were on the show, the Capitals were in the playoffs. Now they're not. Once again, different year, same story, right, Paul?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's it's just.
But I have to admit that game. What was it? Game 6. Yeah, it was a game 6. They didn't force game 7, where they came back from 3-0, showed the kind of heart that team has. But you saw in the overtime of that game, they were dead. They had nothing left. They used all of it in the third period to get the 3 goals back. And then, of course, Pittsburgh made the damn Stanley Cup, and they're facing against San Jose.
Well, that's like one of those things where, like, if you got beat by them, at least.
No, don't even say it. No one here likes Pittsburgh Penguins.
No, they don't.
No one likes Crosby. I hope they get swept. And then also in the NBA Finals, you have a rematch of last year, Golden State versus Cleveland. I went on Facebook and I wrote, great, another boring NBA Finals, and I just got lit up. People were like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I'm tired of seeing the same 2 teams over and over. Especially, I'm tired of seeing LeBron in the finals year after year after year. He's been 6 straight years we've had to witness him in the finals. Granted, he's a great player and whatnot, but that's 6 straight years of just seeing him in the finals where he's only won 2, I believe 2 or 3. I should take that back. I think it was just 2.
Possible,
just the two with Miami.
With Miami.
Because he lost the first one with Miami. And by the way, score update, Worth just hit a home run. So it's 1-0 Nationals. So good for Worth.
Yeah, he's starting to hit the ball.
Yeah, in the 2-hole. But, I mean, I got lit up by people, but I was like, you know what, this is why I like baseball. Every year is something different in baseball. There's another team up there and whatnot, and I find that exciting. I don't find the NBA seeing LeBron James 6 times in a row exciting to me. I think it's boring. I think it's old news. And I wish the Thunder would have made it, honestly, just because I want Kevin Durant to win a title. So we'll see what happens with him in the offseason, if he still comes to DC or not. I don't think he is, but we'll see what happens. So now we're going to shift to the Redskins real quick and talk about them. They're still being very quiet. No more signings to be heard of. I think all the major signings are all done now.
With
whatnot.
them for now, yeah.
I believe they got all their draft picks signed, so now we're in OT3s. Luckily, no injuries to report yet.
Not yet.
So, well, let's not say
Hopefully it
not
stays
yet.
that way.
But right now the big thing is what are they going to do with this offense? Vernon Davis came out and said that this is a tight end friendly offense, but obviously it's more for Jordan Reed than him.
Right.
So we got to see, what's going to happen. Niles Paul's coming back healthy, so the tight end I think will be a real, strong point for the Redskins, especially with Davis, Reed, and Niles Paul.
Right.
You could run a 3 tight end set if you want to start running the ball or whatnot. Another thing for this offseason is we don't have to hear about RG3 with the quarterback battle. It's all Kirk Cousins now. RG3's let him do his thing in Cleveland. We'll see how long he lasts there. So we got all that going on. Of course, Dan Snyder brings out a poll that says most Native Americans are approve of the name. I wish he just needs to leave that alone.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you get a glance of what the one architect, his vision, if they would ever get it, the new Redskins stadium with the moat around
yeah.
it?
Did you hear about that, Paul?
What's
Did
that?
you seen a picture of that?
That was a while ago. The new Redskins Stadium shows that they're going to have a moat in the front of the stadium going all the way around that people can canoe on and stuff.
Yeah.
First off, it's in freaking D.C.
Yeah.
So you know what that means? When December, November comes around towards later season, who the hell wants to be out in water when it's going to be freaking 40 degrees? What are you going to let them ice skate during the winter? I swear to God.
Be surprised. You would be surprised.
People are going to come to the stadium just to ice skate and be like, "Hey, I ice skate during a playoff game."
Yeah.
Like,
I mean-
like what? Like,
the funny thing is,
You know what it
see
is?
how many people fall in it.
I know what it is. I know what it's for. It's because he wants the Olympics here, so that
Right.
way he can have the figure skating contest in the stadium. On the moat. That's what it is. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
Distance skating.
But no, just overall looking at it, besides the
It looks bad.
the little river that runs around it, you look at the stadium itself, and with the weather conditions you get here, and sometimes as far as middle of November and December and January, there is no cover. I mean, it's like you look at it and you look at the end zones and you look the way the seats are. Now, granted, it's not a final thing, but where's the cover?
Yeah, there's no
Not even a little inkling of anything on top. It's a wide open stadium.
yeah, it's
So,
going to be a
I
cold
hope-
yeah.
I hope that's scratched because, it just, I don't know
Hey,
what they
Paul,
were thinking
can
about.
you on the feed right now? Can you plug in a picture of what it looks like if you look it up? Is that possible, or
Yeah.
is that too much?
Yeah, no, I can.
All right, yeah, just go on Google or whatever, just type in new Redskins Stadium design, and it should come right up. And then just plug it in on the YouTube for people to look at while we're talking.
Okay.
Let's go with their rookies right now, and it seems like Sue Craven's getting a lot of rave reviews right now, to where they're saying they're moving him to linebacker, and they're saying that could be the most impactful rookie on defender they've had
Right.
since Sean Taylor.
Right.
And they said that, they got a nice little, especially the round they took him in and everything, and they're saying this could be a very what do you call it, like a sleeper pick in the draft.
Yeah, because you got a guy that can double up for me. Put him in that 3-4 as the inside linebacker, pretty much like the linebacker for the Arizona Cardinals that can cover the back out of the backfield, also pick up the tight end if he's got to, and it leaves you in a good situation with that.
All right, Paul's right now just put up what the new stadium looks like. Paul, what do you think about that?
It looks, I don't know, it looks like something out of Demolition Man or something like that. Like,
It just doesn't look like. I mean,
yeah,
if it rains, you're
there's
screwed.
no cover. There's, yeah, I don't know. That's
and
a
it's
weird
right
stadium.
because it's 60 minutes approved. Well, mine thing says, yeah. There's no. I don't like it. It looks weird. Like, what's with the design?
I just couldn't see that sitting in D.C. anywhere.
No.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I can't say
Yeah.
that.
You're
I
gonna
like
find
that one.
hobos swimming in it during summer.
Let me see if I can find another. Oh, here's one with the moat that you were talking about. Let me see if I can
Yeah.
put that one up.
Yeah. So you're gonna see this frequent. All right, back to the talk real quick. Also for the Skins, I think the defense is gonna be tremendous better this year with Cravens, like we said. Gallette's gonna be healthy now.
Right.
Josh Norman's
Yes.
there. I mean,
Yes.
this is going to be a completely different secondary. You have Fuller, the rookie. Once he gets back from injury, how's he going to be? There's another picture of it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shows the moat area.
So
See the guy swimming in it?
so it should be. So I really don't think that's going to be the design. I
No,
think
it
it's just
can't
a
be.
little
Yeah.
thing. But yeah,
I
that's
don't
it.
get it.
Everyone at home, they got to take
But
a
I
look at
thought
it.
Dan wanted a cover on top of it so he could host a Super Bowl. Can't host a Super Bowl in that.
Maybe you
That's
think,
true.
Well, he probably doesn't care about the cover because New York got the Super Bowl. Remember?
Well, that's all right. Yeah, but kind of.
Hold on, New York didn't get the Super Bowl. New Jersey did because they got all the money from it.
Right.
All right.
No,
so
but I think getting back to the secondary with Josh Norman coming in, and I think I was listening to a talk a couple days ago that even D'Angelo Hall, who struggled some last year at the safety spot, and I think some of that came from just getting back there and playing the safety. But I think now if you have confidence in your corners, it'll free you up at safety. And with the addition of Josh Norman and the other corner opposite him, I think you'll see should be an improved secondary. They won't be looking to I got to get over here because maybe you missed this. But, with Norman as a shutdown corner and Culliver, I think their secondary is going to be a lot better than it has been in the past couple of years, barring injuries.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, and it should be interesting for them.
Right, and you see where Murphy, who was playing outside linebacker, now he's putting on some weight up there, so that move can move him from outside down to a D end if they need to, or makes him a little bit more versatile, get more playing time in. So good for him. He's getting a lot of work. And then Cousins is looking okay. They pretty much like what of him, and they like what they see out of receivers.
Yeah, so we'll
And
see.
there's, like they say, there's no whispers or talk. Deshaun Jackson's not here. What do we do? Well, let me tell you.
You're used to it now.
Well, they're used to it, and that's a great thing that it's not being brought. But the receivers they have in camp now, okay, are doing a pretty fair job at what they're going through. So there's really not.
Deshaun doesn't have to be there. He knows what he needs
Right.
to do.
He doesn't have to.
He just
or
runs
whatever,
deep,
but
and that's it.
they're running what they need to get done,
Mhm.
and when he gets there, it just spills right in. So they seem to be, there's not a lot of
Drama.
right.
No
drama.
RG3.
Yeah,
None of that.
no drama. Who's this? Who's that? We know what's going on now.
I still refuse to turn on sports radio the week the Cleveland plays here because that's all it's going to be about.
That's
Someone
that-
should
that's
question
something.
RG3 if anything went on while he was at Baylor.
Well, it was probably I don't know.
What? Did I
That's
say
a
something
sad
wrong?
situation down there at Baylor,
Well, I'm not even going to get into Baylor right now.
but that's
Life.
yeah, that's the way it is. I mean, you can't if you're not in control of your own organization or know what's going on, then somebody's got to pay the price. Unfortunately, it was the head coach and the athletic director.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what we're going to do now is start doing stuff on a little new topic we're doing now. For the next couple of weeks, we're going to go over the top 20 for every position. Like I said, we're not going to list all our 20 things. We're going to go over it. We'll talk about where we have Kirk. I'll talk about where I have Mariota at. Maybe list our top 5, and then just talk about different players throughout where we have them at. We're going to do that for quarterbacks, wide receivers, defenses, and running backs. Defense will be the last one. Tight ends, we'll probably do a top 10 for tight end because, there's so many. I mean, there's just,
So many good ones now.
yeah. We're going to start this week with quarterbacks, and I believe for our 50th, we're going to do wide receiver because I already got our first guest that's scheduled to come on for our 50th episode, which is Bobby Blackman. And he's a wide receiver, so we'll do it
wide
that week.
receiver, yeah.
So we're going to do that. So let's start with the quarterbacks. Let's just go ahead and do our top 5, and we'll talk afterwards. My top 5 is number 1, Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a certified number 1 quarterback in the NFL. 2, I have Tom Brady. Whether he has his 4-game suspension or not, for those 12 games he plays, he'll be one of the best in the league. 3, I have Ben Roethlisberger. 4, Cam Newton. And then 5, I'm still going to put in Drew Brees because I still think Drew Brees is still a top 5 quarterback wherever he goes. He always puts up the yardage no matter what he has.
Yes.
Last year,
Yeah.
he still put up the good yards even without Jimmy Graham. So those are my top 5. Who'd you have?
Well, mine are really not that much different, except maybe a couple out of order. I'm going to start with number 5. I have Cam Newton. Number 4, I'm going to come down with Drew Brees. Number 3, Ben Roethlisberger. Number 2 is Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Number 4 is Tom Brady.
You mean-
minus.
Wait, where'd you get number 4? You just said.
Number 1's Tom Brady.
Okay.
I was looking at the other side of the board there.
Okay.
Number 1's Tom Brady, and the reason, it's not because now people say, well, Manning's out of there and everything like that. But no, Tom's still, I don't know. He does what he can out of what he has. All right. He really hasn't, his receiving core hasn't been the best in the last 2 years or so, but he gets out of it what they provide him with. So, I like him at number 1.
Yep.
That's good for me.
Yep, and I like Aaron Rodgers number 1 because even last year you saw he didn't have much to work with, but he almost pulled off a good playoff victory against the Cardinals. Their defense, it's not the best, so that kind of, let up for him. But he always, without Jordy Nelson, he still put up decent numbers. And now that he have Nelson back, I expect him to be even better this year.
Right. Okay.
Ben Roethlisberger, I have at 3 just because the stuff that he does in the pocket. He rarely takes a sack, and when he does, he gets right up. He'll take the biggest hits in the world. He'll still play. And he always makes, he finds a way to do what he has to do with his receivers. Obviously, Tom Brady too. There's nothing really more. Newton at 4, because Newton, just the factor that he can run brings it in. Obviously, he went to the Super Bowl last year. See what happens this year when he has, Kelvin Benjamin back with him. So, all right. So let's talk about where we have Kurt. On my list, I have Kurt number 15. Kurt's my number 15 quarterback. I think most because the kind of yardage he puts up last year and everything. I think this year he'll step up his game even more, and some can even argue during the last couple of weeks last year, he was the best quarterback in the league, especially during stat-wise. So I have Kurt at 15. Where do you have him?
Well, I went out on a limb a little bit. I put Kurt down at number 13, and people might say, are you kidding? Well, last year was his first year. I'll go with that. He had a good year, but now he has another year to grow on, and I think with what he has, what he works with, I think that's a good spot for him at number 13. So that's where I have Kirk at it.
All right, then I have Mariota personally at 19. I don't have him higher than that. I believe he had a good rookie year, and I think he's going to even improve even more, especially with the, he got a new wide receiver.
Right.
Wide receiver target. What am I thinking? A new running back core to work with DeMarco.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry, which will even help him even more in the passing game, because then people are going to be threatened by more the run and the pass. He got a new blocker for him during the draft. And what I mean with receiver is now you'll have Kendall Wright, Doris Beckham Green, so it should be even better for him. So we'll see what happens with him more this year, but I believe Mariota will take another bigger step. And I have Jameis Winston right behind him at 20. Right. I think Winston will take even a bigger step. I think what helped Winston out a little bit last year was
running game.
The running game, and also when you have Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans catching balls for you, it's actually not a bad deal to go well off.
Yeah, I have those two just cross. I have Jameis at number 19 and Marcus at number 18. I just think that's a good viable spot for both of those two to start with right now. Could they jump up? You darn right they could jump up. They could jump up real quick into top 15. But as of now, Jameis 19 and Marcus at 18. I think they still need to get some more reading, more adjustments. But I think right now that's two good spots for him.
All right. I have RG3 not in my top 20 or in anything right now. I believe RG is more close to 30. No offense to him. I just had to put him out there.
Right.
But but I think it's a pretty good list. I have Flacco, another native guy with Baltimore, 16. So that's one of my lists. I have Tony Romo up at 8. Redskins fans will hate me for that, but when Romo plays, he's one of the best in the league when he's healthy. So you can't really deny him that.
Right. Number 8, I had Andrew Luck. I just think what he was working with last year wasn't really a whole lot, but he survived with what he did. I put Joe Flacco at 15 for a reason. And here what I did at number 12, I had Tony was hurt a lot last year, so if you go on a lot of last year, you're not going to really find a lot for Romo. But to start out with this year, I have him and Matt Ryan both at number 12. Tie for number 12 at the spot right there, and see how he comes back. I'm just looking at the quarterbacks I have in front of him. They were all healthy and doing everything that they needed to do last year. Unfortunately, Tony was hurt, not his fault. But, I didn't have him anywhere in the top 10.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a very interesting top 20 we all have here. I have Carson Palmer at number 9 after the season he put up last year. Everyone's, you saw once he was healthy what he could do. I see you have Palmer at 7. It looks like.
Yep.
Right, and for me, I had to put Andrew Luck, who could have been higher, but he was hurt last year, and then even when he wasn't hurt, he wasn't really playing up to his potential. So I had Luck at 10. I have even Derek Carr, another young quarterback. I have him at 18, and my other young quarterback, Blake Bortles, I don't have in the top 20, but I believe he's in the 21, 22 area. He's right there for me.
This gentleman right here,
Who's that?
Mr. Bridgewater.
I don't have him in the top 20.
Oh, I have him at number 17. Mr. Bridgewater, the one that you mentioned, Carr.
Mm-hmm.
I had him outside at 21 or 22. But if you're looking, he's a little bit outside, and I keep looking at Kaepernick and Sam Bradford and Geno Smith and Sanchez. They have to produce a little bit more. Could Sanchez be starting in Denver? That's possible.
Possibly. We'll see
Very
how
possible.
we'll see how Patson Lynch develops.
Right.
And another quarterback situation to look at are the two rookies that were drafted 1-2.
Yes.
Wentz and Goff. So we'll see
Right.
how that goes. So, like I said, for the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing these top 20s, running backs. Next one, will be wide receivers, and we'll do running backs. We'll look at tight ends and defenses. Defenses as a whole, we're not going through every defensive position because that just would kill us in our brains. I think Paul can agree, trying to do every defensive position.
Oh, that would be
Like what my cousin wants to do for that fantasy.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
But we'll be doing that. That'll probably take us all the way up to training camp. Then we can start doing NFL previews. Our fantasy football, starting to come back. Also, I think we could announce that our fantasy football draft will be live this year.
Yeah.
May not be on air. We may not be able to do it live, but we're definitely going to record it and then put it on YouTube. So we're going to try to get everyone together, maybe at BWB.
Yeah.
If not, we'll get everyone up on, on the app, and Paul will put the cameras on, and we'll try to talk to everyone between the dialogues. Obviously, Anthony, when he does it, he'll have to try to Skype in or something.
That's gonna be interesting. I think maybe we can hook up some like lapel mics. You know what I mean? So like to
Well, the reason I say it won't be live because I think with all the internet connection at BWB, we may overload them.
Yeah, what we have to do, and hopefully Paisanos isn't listening, is just we have to go over there and get the password for their, because they have free Wi-Fi right next door, and it seems to be very it seems to be a lot stronger, a lot faster.
We'll kick through to his.
Yeah. I tried doing it last time, but no one would go get the password, so I'll just go buy a piece of pizza and be like, "Hey, what's your buy?"
I'm waiting. So
sit in there while you're waiting for your pizza.
we'll get Chris to do it.
Next thing you know, like their entire website ordering thing goes down or something like that.
That's all right.
So we'll try. We're gonna try to do that. If not live, it'll be hooked up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think that'd be something fun, cool to do this year.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think we could probably. You can look forward to watching it after the recording of it.
Yeah, and definitely see why people. We'll ask people why'd you do this pick or whatnot. I think I'm gonna make what I'm gonna try to do is hopefully you'll have to show me how you do the live pick that you do, because I think you just put in the picks as we wait, don't you, for yours? Or do you write it down then you do it later?
I used to do it that way. We used to do like.
Well, I remember I was there for the last live one.
Yeah.
This year you changed it. Or the past year you changed it to where we do it live. But the way you did before is you just do it offline, then you as a GM itself goes in and put...
Yeah. That's a pain in the butt. I mean, because then you have to track the actual
So
picks.
I'll probably end up just putting the thing live, and hopefully everyone can make it. And then, like I said, if you can't make it, if you're working, what we'll do is we'll go down quarterback what you need, and we'll put the best position available.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
It works out well. I
Yeah.
can attest to that.
Yeah, because Guillermo can attest to that, finishing second place for auto pick. So yeah, look forward to that. There's still plenty of room left. I believe there's 5 slots left for that. I'm also doing an ESPN league just for the fun of that one. If people want to join, if they don't have Yahoo and want to do ESPN, so I have that. Yeah, pretty much that's all that's coming up right now. I may do a survival league also for football. Have you ever done one of those, Paul?
No.
Never heard of it.
Is that
The one where you pick a winner each week of a game, but you can't pick this. Once you pick that team, you can't pick them again.
Oh, okay. So I've heard of it. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I haven't played it.
So I may try to do something like that too, just for fun.
That's a good one, because I think everybody can play, and you don't have to get you don't have to get too involved. You know what I mean?
So I'll be doing that. So
Mhm.
look for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And look for our 50th episode in 2 weeks or whenever we can decide we can do it. We're going to try to make it a big thing. We're going to try to do it live at BWB once we get to talking to their managers there. But they never have a problem with us there, do they?
No, I mean, that's usually, we just have to tell them, and then that's usually a good to go type of thing.
I know Chris wants to do that because he hasn't got a chance to do one.
Yeah, that should be fun, man. Hopefully he can. Hopefully he'll be able to make it.
So look for all that next coming weeks. We'll keep on with the USA Soccer, the Copa America. Like I said, it starts Friday 9:30 against Colombia. That usually means they'll start at 9:45 because they have to do the whole national anthem and different anthems for both countries. So that'll be the start of that. So nationals, keep on watching them, see what goes on with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty NBA Finals, NHL Stanley Cup. So a lot of things going on in sports right now.
Definitely.
There will be no Triple Crown winner in the Kentucky Derby this year. So the winner didn't win at the Preakness. So
No, and he pulled out of the Belmont.
he's out of the Belmont. So nothing
Right.
this year. No Triple Crown like last year.
Yeah, at least
Yeah,
someone
just
won
be a
it.
who's who of horse racing.
Yeah, so it'll just be a regular race.
Place your bets.
Pretty sure probably no one will be watching that much. 'Cause they mostly get more views when it's a Triple Crown winner
Yeah.
involved. So.
Yeah, go up Charlestown, bet on the ponies.
That'd be fun. I love doing
So-
that. That's a lot of fun.
And also, just have to plug in my other show. If you're interested in wrestling, you can check out OT3 Podcast every Monday. Are we starting 7 o'clock next week, or is it just one more week of soccer for Luke?
No, he's done. So
All right, so next week we'll be come back up at 7. So I
Mhm.
believe we're getting close to doing our little fantasy draft that we talked about last night. So
right.
all you wrestling fans, check out OT3.
Have you? Has that been done before?
The split like that,
No, the like the draft for WWE like
like what
pro
they're doing
wrestling.
now, like what they're actually gonna do. Yeah, they've done it a couple times.
What do you mean they're gonna do?
What do you mean? You mean like what me and him are doing?
Yeah,
I don't think they have any websites for wrestling fantasy.
yeah. I've never heard of it. Like I thought it was just something you made up.
You know what? I did just make it up. You know what I just thought about?
Let me hit that. Okay.
I think we should just do our own website. I bet you we could make some money off it.
I'm sure we could
Let's do it.
on the off the top turnbuckle site.
Put some money into it.
Yeah.
Give us $10, you can do your own lead. So yeah, check that out. So I think Paul, it's time for your little shamil.
Spiel. Yes, Matt. Thanks. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the Facebook page as well. Go ahead and give us a like there. It's Facebook.com/Shipe Sports Talk. ShipeSportsTalk@gmail.com for questions you want to send us. Feel free to do so. And at Shipe Sports Talk at Twitter, on Twitter. So just make sure you subscribe, follow, like, and you'll be ahead of the game getting all the news and all the new stuff that's going on with our 50th episode coming up, with all the fantasy leagues that are going to be coming up. You'll get notification as soon as we post those up there if you are subscribed. So make sure you do that. And the website, www.shipesportstalk.com. So, yeah, next week, I guess Chris will be back.
No,
maybe?
2 weeks.
Oh, that's right.
2 weeks for our 50th.
50th, that's right.
So a big episode coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll do
That's
it for today. So for
Yep.
myself, Coach,
Yep.
Paul, thank you for joining us today. And we'll be back in 2 weeks for our 50th, either here or at BWB with some couple guests, and hopefully we can get on here. So thank you, everyone. Take care and have a good evening.
Woohoo!
Bye, everyone.
Go USA. That was good.
We're gonna try. Do